Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be a long-range outlook. I haven't done a long-range outlook in quite some time, so I felt like it was about time to do one. And the best word to describe this pattern that we're going into right now is the best two words I should say, active and interesting. And we're just gonna dive right into this. But before we do so, if you'd like to support this channel in any sort of way, you could do so by subscribing, hitting the red button, slapping a like, and commenting. Again, that is optional, but I always like to see a nice comment, or a new subscriber, or and also like on a video to see that people like it. So thank you for doing that. Also, there's gonna be a link in the description box below for my Patreon. If you want to do that, you just sign up, maybe $4 a month you give me, and it's just something you could do so for the stuff I bring to you. So that's completely optional as well. So right now we're looking at the GFS model. Ew, sorry about that. GFS model, and the GFS model is an okay model, definitely not one of the best models, especially when it comes to short range forecast. But in long range, it's not that bad. So that's why I'm going to look at it. We're seeing a big storm right now making its way onto California, the western coast, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, and this will continue to make its way out into the plains and ejects itself a big, pretty strong low, and it will continue to intensify. And it delivers a wide swath of snow across Montana, North Dakota. The whole state, I think, of North Dakota is under some winter weather alert, and then into northern Minnesota, upper parts of Wisconsin, and maybe into northern Michigan, but mainly rain for south of locations of there. And then we see a very interesting thing happening. So we see cold temperatures setting across, I would say, the western two-thirds of the country, and also the northern two-thirds, excluding the east from this. And we're looking at a fairly interesting dynamic pattern. Okay, sorry about that. Dynamic pattern, and we will be seeing a system that will be making its way onshore while this system is occurring. You can see right there, and this starts delivering pieces of energy one by one. So here we have a first one breakout Wednesday, late Tuesday into early Wednesday morning, potentially an icing event for northern Illinois, central Indiana, snow for those locations up north like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and northern Iowa, into North Dakota. Similar locations that got snow with this storm that's happening right now. I think the Weather Channel named it Winter Storm Kai. I'm not too sure, but I think they did. I'll have to double check that. And then we see another system developing. You could see it's kind of like the energy from that first system left behind, and the second storm grabs that up and deliver some very heavy rainfall potentially for these locations in like Indiana, southern Illinois, Missouri, and snow on the upper side, northwestern side, where the cold air is plentiful. I'll show you the 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 day outlook in a minute. And oh boy, it's going to be cold for those locations up there. And we are looking at quite some snow, and then you can see the last piece kind of tries moving across mid-Atlantic and the Ohio, southern Ohio region, and doesn't deliver too much snow. Then we can see another system, and yet another system, and even yet another system. So very, very active, I would say, at the very least. Let's go to the FV3 GFS, which I'm not sure. Okay, so it's only going out to hour 96 as of now, because it's just coming in. Let's look at that first system with it. It has a very similar track of what the GFS is showing. Snow to the north of, I would say, central Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota, and then cities and areas and states like Illinois, Chicago, Des Moines, Iowa should be seeing all rain. Milwaukee, Green Bay, even Wisconsin, mainly rain from this. Maybe a little bit snow on the backside of the system as a cold air wraps around it. And then it goes out as far enough to show us that first system, that first wave of that system, and then it doesn't go out further because the data is just coming in. So let's go to the previous model run and let's see if we could look at some of that data and compare it to the GFS, which I just showed you, the regular GFS. I think that the parallel FE3 GFS still isn't the or maybe it has been already replaced, the GFS, by this one. I'm not sure yet, but because of the government shutdown, a few things have gotten messed up. So the FV3 GFS was supposed to be the operational one, and at this point, I think it may be. So previous run, similar thing showing as the previous FV3 GFS, the newest one, and the same thing as the GFS, showing a system not as nearly combined with the cold air as the GFS is showing it. You could see heavy rain in the Ohio Valley, Indiana, southern Illinois, Missouri, and quite a bit of snow into Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota, and fairly big icing event into Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, like the GFS was hinting at a little bit, but not as much snow for these areas in Missouri and Kansas as the first, the GFS is showing, the regular GFS, and then that little system passing by. So very active, I would say, at this point, and we're looking at a fairly significant storm system to be developing next weekend or next week after this weekend with that system potentially being either an icing or heavy rain or a heavy snow event for many locations. So let's go to the European model, quickly show you what it's showing with that first system. This is the next 5 days. So this encompasses all the way through Thursday. Through Thursday, and we could see that 8 inches up to the north. I would say this is even a little bit rambunctious, not rambunctious. I meant to say a little bit robust and a little bit too much, showing too much. I don't think there's going to be 8 inches, but 6, maybe 7 is possible. But I would say generally under 6 inches for these areas. Doesn't seem like it will have much energy while it's over here. But again, it strengthens while it's over here. You could see 10, 11 inches, a little bit more. But over here in northern U.S., in North Dakota, Minnesota, not as much as in Ontario and Quebec. So let's go out to next 10 days, and European definitely is showing a snowstorm of some sort, just a little bit further to the north than what the GFS ensembles are showing. You can see Nebraska seeing quite a bit of snow in the next 10 days, up to 6 inches in some locations. Northwest Iowa definitely going to see some snow for up to a foot and a half in Wisconsin. UP of Michigan seeing, almost 2 feet of snow. So this is interesting. We'll just have to see what happens while the European is showing a little bit further to the north. Some models are showing a little bit further to the south. We'll just have to see where this sets up. But generally, we're not that far away from the system. We're only around 4 to 5 days out, maybe a little bit less even, since this is the end of Saturday and this is already basically Sunday. And let's go to the Net Climate Prediction Center. I want to show you the next 6 to 10 days in terms of temperature. Look at that. The western 2/3 is going to be definitely a below average, and then right here is going to be above average. And see, this is what we call the baroclinic zone, where the two temperature masses meet. This is the warm air mass, this is the cold air mass, and along these baroclinic zones, storm system ride, and it usually produces quite a bit of snow in the cold section, and maybe some heavy rain and even severe weather in the warmer section. So we'll just have to see what happens where that baroclinic zone sets up, and see where the storm exactly takes shape. But definitely cold to the northwest and warm to the southeast. And the precipitation, look at that again, right along that baroclinic zone, we see way above average, and a little bit further to the northwest, a little bit above average, but then northwest and southeast, the places where they're farthest away from the baroclinic zone, are going to see below average precip. Let's go to the 8 to 14 day outlook, which is from the 10th through the 16th. Still much below average for the western 2/3, basically the same locations, just that lower confidence, and that's natural because it's a little bit further out, so they have lower confidence. You can see 70%, whereas in the 6 to 10 day outlook, they have 90% to 100. And then the precipitation probability, look at this. This is very, very interesting. We almost have the whole United States under above average precip. So it looks to be affecting there looks to be very big storms affecting much of the United States. Some sweet spots here and maybe around Ohio, Missouri Valley, the Ozarks, the Southern California region, Nevada, and Arizona, and then a little bit by the northern locations, and the drier or northern Michigan and northern New York. But then the drier locations are Florida, Washington, and Montana. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens of this, because if this actually shows up such above average for so many people, then we'll be looking at a very wet pattern, or potentially snowy, since below average conditions will be present for a lot of these areas here. So let's go back to the National Weather Service, and let's see. Click on the winter storm warnings are updated in, and let's check them out and let's see what they have to say. So right now, Minot is under winter storm warning. Williston, Crosby, Harvey, Dickinson, and Bismarck are all under winter storm warnings. Let's go to their situation report. I think the National Weather Service is overdoing it a little bit. 8 to 10 inches seems a little bit much, and I don't think many locations will see that. I would say mainly 6 to 8 seems like on a higher end, but 10 inches, I guess, in a few areas is possible, but definitely not as widespread as they're showing this. I just don't think the system will have that much moisture and that much strength in it to produce this much snow. But it's definitely possible that we see 10-inch amounts in some areas. And then look at this. This is what they're having. Significant accumulating snow early Sunday morning through Monday morning, blowing and drifting snow as the snow will fall in cold temperatures and will be light and fluffy, and that's the type that the wind always picks up. So let's click on Minot and let's just see their exact forecast, since what I just showed you was a situation report. And let's see what shows up. And right now, we're looking at heavy snow tomorrow. Tomorrow night and into Monday. So you can see 4 to 8 tomorrow and then 3 to 5 tomorrow night. I don't know if this is going to be accurate. I think it's a little bit overdone. That's what the National Weather Service tends and seems to do with these type of systems. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.